everyone, it's Gwen, and if you guys follow me on Instagram or Snapchat, you will know that the last week I have been in Chicago. I went to Chicago for a week to stay with my grandparents, and it was really nice trip. We went to a bunch of different places, we saw a bunch of different really cool sights. I love Chicago, it's one of my favorite cities. I was born there, and I always just love going there and visiting, and it was a really fun trip. Now, of all of the amazing things I saw and did on that trip, there was one that was amazing because I was not expecting this to happen, guys. And as you can tell from the title, I saw the Queen. And no, I don't mean the Queen of England. No, I mean the actual Queen. The alternative, the electro-pop Queen, Queen Halsey. Yes. Now, if you guys have been watching my videos for a while, you'll know that in a bunch of my older videos, whenever I've talked about Halsey, I've said that I'm going to see her in August with my friend, and I'm really excited to go see her on the Badlands tour. Well, unfortunately, that is not happening anymore. My friend realized that she couldn't do it. She had other plans, which I totally understand, and it's just something that really didn't end up working out. And you know, that's okay, these things happen. Better for her to realize that she couldn't go before we actually bought the tickets. But I had been looking forward to that show for a really long time, since last year. So it was pretty sad when I realized that I couldn't go see the Queen Halsey on this Badlands tour this year. However, ironically enough, I did not plan this, but the same week that I was in Chicago, the big Lollapalooza festival was going on. If you guys didn't know, Lollapalooza is this huge music festival that's been going on in Chicago for many years. I think this year was actually its 25th anniversary, and I had heard of it before. It takes place in Grant Park, and they close the entire park down, and it's huge. There's, I think, 8 stages, 6 or 8, something like that. There's a ton of artists that perform. It takes place over 4 days. It was originally 3, but they had to extend it because of how many artists they have. So it took place from Thursday through Sunday. Now, I figured this out before I left for the trip, so I went online and I looked at all the different artists and the times that they would be playing and what stage they would be on. And there weren't too many artists that I really felt strongly to go over there and try to hear, you know? Now, keep in mind, all the tickets are sold out, so it wasn't like I was oh, I can go. That was not about to happen. Also, I wasn't gonna drag my grandparents down into some music festival, and I wasn't gonna go into it alone. So it wasn't like I was planning on going to this festival. But I did notice that Queen Halsey was playing on Sunday at around 4:30. She was playing at the Samsung stage, which was one of the best stages for someone like me who couldn't get in and was trying to see this artist because it was right on the end. So the park is huge, and there's stages on the ends, and then there's stages that are faced inside a bunch of different places. This stage was all the way at the end of the park, and it was facing this way. Now, keep in mind the park is obviously a circle, and what we tried to do is we were planning that Sunday to go down there, try to get as close as we could to this stage, and just listen to the artist. Now me, when I pictured this, I was super excited, but honestly the only thing that I was hoping was that I could at least hear some of the music, very even faintly. I didn't think it was going to be that loud from where we were, because the entire thing was probably going to be blocked off. I didn't expect to be able to hear her very well at all. I thought maybe I could hear a faint noise of her voice, or maybe some of the words, or some of the noises in her songs or something. I did not expect to be as close as we were, okay? So earlier that day on Sunday, we walked down to Grant Park earlier in the day. We were planning on hanging out around that area for the day and going to the art museum and doing a bunch of other things around Grant Park. And we got down there to Millennium Park, which is where that big bean is. Just being there and walking around Millennium Park, we could already hear the music so loud. And we weren't even as close as we were planning on being later, and we could already hear the music really well. And I was honestly amazed at how much we could hear the music. We saw the huge crowd of people that were coming in, and it was really crazy. I was so jealous of everyone that could go, only because music festivals, they look like they are so much fun. But it was really cool to be able to hear that happening. So since we were walking around that area for most of the day, and obviously continuing hearing different artists, it got me really excited to see how close we could really get to Halsey and how much I could really hear her. So at around 3 o'clock, I think, we started our journey to the Samsung stage, because we had to walk pretty much the entire length of the park to get there. And so we were just walking around. We passed a bunch of entries. There's like crazy people going to the festival everywhere. It was really chaotic around there. For a little while, we stopped in front of a different stage that we could see really clearly. Like, we could see the big screens for the side of it, and it was I don't know who it was, but it was like dubstep rave music that was going on. It really looked like a rave was going on because we could see the crowds and everyone was freaking out, and there was all these flashing lights and a bunch of things like that. And it was pretty cool to see. We're just staying there watching this for a little while, and that was like on the way to get to the Samsung stage. So we continued to walk around the park for like the next half an hour. Then there came to a point where we were pretty much at the end of the park. We're rounding the turn area. Here's the stage, this is the rest of the park, where we walked like all the way on the outside. We're rounding it, we're kind of to the back of it. And I didn't think that we'd be able to get that much farther. I saw the back of the stage and I thought, oh, this is great. We'll be able to hear everything. This is awesome. Like, that was enough for me. I was really, really excited. So we walked up this hill and I'm like, my legs are tired because we've walked like all day, but I'm like, I will hike to see Queen. It is okay, I'm coming. And so then we were up at this hill and we just kind of stayed there in the back by this fence. And I was like, okay, so this is like probably where we're gonna be. And I was cool with that. It was like half an hour before she was supposed to go on. I think it was like 4. And I was like, yeah, this is cool. We'll just chill here. I'm sure we'll hear everything. And then I realized that, hold on, we could get a little bit closer. So we started walking around the side of it, right? So here's the back of the stage, we're there. We started continuing going around the other edge of the park to see, maybe we could see it from the side, right? Kind of like we did with that other stage. So we keep walking around the side, and they had it blocked off in a way that we didn't think it was going to be blocked off. We thought that we'd be able to get to the side of the park and just like there would be the park right in front of us. But there's this road next to the park that they ended up blocking off even farther behind that. So we were right behind a road that was kind of blocking it. But we still kept walking around the perimeter of the park. And then we got to pretty much like, if this is the stage, we were like over here and we had this diagonal view straight to the stage. Like, we saw it. We couldn't really see the actual stage, like the floor of it, but we could see the 2 huge screens, and I was freaking out because like her face was gonna be broadcast on that screen, and I was just like so excited. And so basically we were sitting on the side of this park just chilling. There was a fence, there was a really busy road, and then there was the park with the stage. And I was just like, I was in shock that we got that close. Like, I was so excited. And oh my gosh, and there were a bunch of other people that were sitting around probably waiting to hear the music as well. But I was like freaking out, okay? Like, oh my gosh, this was just, I was dying. So we get there, we chill. My grandparents kept taking a bunch of pictures of me. There's a bunch of pictures of me posing because I'm all excited that I'm there and stuff. And then around 4:30, she came on, and oh my lord, I heard the start of Gasoline. And I like freaked out, like there's this little walkway in front of us, and there's bikes and there's pedestrians going by, and they just see me and I'm like screaming. Like, I had a little bit of like a really big fangirl moment where I was like, oh my god, because we could hear the music really, really well. And in the videos I'm gonna show you guys, it doesn't really, I don't know if you could hear it as well as we could, but we could hear the music really, really well. And the really funny thing about this whole thing is that the crowd for her was huge. Like, it was so big. There were so many people. And if you were to measure the radius of where she was versus how far the crowd was, and then we were like over here, we were probably closer than if you had been at the back of her crowd. And that to me was like amazing. I don't know, I never pictured that we would have gotten that close. And it was incredible. We got to watch her entire set list. It was honestly like I was there because we could see her face on the screen. We were watching the screens the whole time. I think I saw her little body like once, or I think I saw it because she was wearing these pink shorts, and I think I could see her like walking once, but we couldn't really see the stage, so I never saw her in person really, but I could see the screen and I could hear it so well. was so cool because not only did we stay for her entire set list, but we could also hear what she was saying, and I got to hear what it's like to see her live because I got to hear her commentary and hear her speak to the crowd, and it was honestly so cute. She is so inspirational. Like, you listen to her songs, and obviously her lyrics are very poetic, and her lyrics are inspirational as well, but then you hear her talk about those songs, and it brought it to a whole new level. Like, she was trying to make me cry. When she was introducing certain songs, she was explaining the meaning behind them, or she would say, I forget which song it was, but she was saying, like, this song is about not needing anybody but yourself, and just feeling confident in your own skin, and she worded this thing so well, and I was just like, she was really trying to make me cry, you know? I was just getting so excited. There's a bunch of these videos of me dancing. And I got a bunch of videos of different songs like Castle.
Oh, look at that.
And New Americana. I took a bunch of videos and I was sending it to my friend who I was supposed to go with because I was like, girl, I'm seeing her. And so, yeah, it was just really, really incredible. I was jamming, okay? I went up to the fence and right in front of this highway to try and get better videos, but I realized that standing there is actually worse than standing back more in the park, because when you're standing up there near the fence, you'll hear the song, but then you'll hear the whizzing of the cars like every few seconds, and if you stand farther back, you won't hear the cars as much. So I did end up standing farther back eventually, but you can see me, there's videos of me dancing up there by the fence, just like full on jamming. Like, it was like I was in the concert. Like, I was just full on dancing and boogieing, and people were walking by, and it was really funny because it was a really chill part of the park. Nobody else was like really jamming like I was. So people are just sitting there on the ground or just relaxing or just walking by. You see bikers walk by and look at me, and I'm over here like popping and locking and like singing all the words like I'm there, and it was just so funny. And there were multiple people that came up to me and were like, who are you dancing to? Or like, who's this girl? Or like, you know, asking who I'm jamming to. And every single time I would be like, Halsey, she's queen, check her out. Like, I gave her so much promo, you didn't even want to know. And yeah, it was just really, really funny. People kept coming up to me and asking who I was dancing to, or they'd be like, why aren't you in there? And I'd be like, well, you know, tickets are expensive and they're sold out, you know, struggles. But like, it's cool, okay? If anything, this experience taught me that, like, even if you can see them or hear the artist from outside, you could have the same sort of, they have the same sort of impact as if I was in there. Like, nothing really changed other than I couldn't see her as well. But if I was at the back of that crowd, I would have been surrounded by tons of people, I would have been really hot, and I probably just would have been watching the screens the same thing. But here, I was on the other side, there were like barely any people around, and I was jamming. All I have to say is, it was a really great experience. I'm not gonna put this down as a legit show that I've been to, like, I'm not counting it as a real show, but I did get to stay and watch her entire set list and hear her talk, and it was really, really amazing. I, like, honestly started to cry by the end, and she was just doing all this commentary. It was really, really cute. She was saying, she was like, I was at Lollapalooza last year, and I was on the really small stage, and you guys were so amazing last year that they asked me to come back, and now I'm at this huge stage, and my crowd is like 3 times as big. And I don't know, it was really, really cute. It just made me think of how far she's come, And I don't know, she's one of my favorite female artists of all time, I think. Her lyrics, her songs are incredible, and just, I always knew, you know, like she's seems like a very genuine person, and I've watched interviews, but then seeing her up there really talking about the meanings of the songs, and you can see how much she loves her fans, and it was really, really just very heartwarming and very adorable to watch. And like as I keep saying, I wasn't even there and I was crying. Like, it was incredible. So yeah, guys, that's basically the story I wanted to tell you of how I saw Halsey last Sunday, and I died. I really did. Like, when she was done, I was like, no, queen. Also, another funny thing that happened is that every time she'd end the song, you hear the crowd cheering, and I'm over here at this park, like I'm clapping like I'm there. I'm like, yes, girl, yes. Like, it was just, and she'd be like, you guys ready? And I'd be like, yes, queen. Like, she can't hear me. I'm not there, but it was just really funny. I thought I'd tell you about this because, as you guys know, I have been talking about seeing her in concert in a bunch of my videos, and obviously, since that's not going to happen, I thought I'd tell you guys that at least I did get to see her. And I can now say that I kind of saw her live because I saw her full set and it was amazing. It definitely made up for the fact that I'm not going to see her in concert this summer. And if anything, this just makes me like want to see her more. And I'm sure eventually she'll come back and I will get to see her. But I am really thankful that I at least got to hear those songs live because I was jamming. And it was definitely one of the highlights of the trip, only because it was so unexpected. I really didn't think that we'd be able to be that close. So, yeah, that was really, really awesome. Also, comment down below if you guys have seen Halsey on the Badlands tour, or if any of you guys were there and saw her at Lollapalooza, or if you guys have ever seen her live. I really want to know what you guys think, just judging by watching it from outside the venue. She was amazing live, and it seemed like a great vibe. She really put on a fantastic show. So if you guys have ever actually been to one of her shows inside, tell me what you guys think. It's definitely on my bucket list to go see her one day, and hopefully eventually I will. So yeah, guys, that's the end of this video. Just thought I'd tell you about that awesome thing that happened to me. Overall, the entire trip of Chicago was great. Be sure to follow me on Snapchat so that if I do go anywhere else, you guys will be able to see this trip, because I was posting a lot on Snapchat, and if you guys weren't following me, you might not have seen it. I also posted a few pictures from my trip on Instagram. If you want to see, you can follow me. The links will be below. But other than that, that's the end of this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!
I'm headed straight for the castle. They wanna make me their queen. And there's an old man singing.